session, we're going to talk about two comments that came up on the setup on the equipment request or equipment repair mobile app. So as you can see, as if I go into one of these requests here, you will see that it looks like you can see all the photos that we're taking. And this is the app that we created. Just a quick recap. This is the app we created on how, demonstrating how you can take photos of before and after pictures and save them. Really actually take photos and add metadata to them to where, when you display them, you can segment out or separate out in this scenario before and after, but really you can put any metadata on these photos to make them useful to the end user. So the question came up with, what if I had a form that had a lot of items to them in addition to the gallery? What is the best user experience with that? Because if you actually in this form here, if you can see, I only have three fields before I kind of jump into the gallery. But what if your scenario had 6, 7, 8, or wherever the number may be? And it doesn't seem like PowerApp handles that in a given or an expected way. There's definitely some tricks or some hoops you have to jump through to make that happen. So we'll cover that. And then the other one would be, it was an additional question on the cascading dropdown, which I demonstrated before against a 100,000 item. In this case, it's going to be a 2 million item list. And that demonstration was done against a standard dropdown, but they asked to see that with a combo box. So we'll take a look at it. Let's go ahead and jump in. Let's go ahead and get started. So what I want to do here, let me share my full screen. And let's go into PowerApps Studio for this one. And let's try to take a look at exactly what the layout issue is when dealing with galleries and the actual form control using a PowerApp mobile format or application. Okay, so let's go ahead and collapse our screen here. So here we only have 4 screens. We have a detail screen. We have the edit screen for entries are created. And then we have a photo screen to where if you're clicking on one of these thumbnails, it will pop up and make that available or visible in a much larger view. So the concern that we have is that, okay, I have this detail form. And if I go into the form and if I add additional fields, so let's just say I'm going to randomly select some. So it's created by, created, modified by, and let's just say name, photo type, just to get a bunch of them in here. So once I add those in, you would notice that we kind of have like this overlay scroll, right? So it's kind of like it has the form, but the gallery is not part of the form. So it doesn't respect the spacing required for the form itself. Now, prior to this, I did not realize, and that's why the type of Power App that you're creating is super important, because I did not realize that when you're creating a Power App, your height is fixed. So if you look in here, your height is fixed. It may not seem like it's fixed because there is a scroll, but your height is fixed. And the reason why you have the scroll is because you're actually inside of or embedded inside of the form control, and that's where your scroll is coming from. But the overall screen is actually a fixed height, and you kind of have to play within that fixed height. And there's several ways that you can go about doing this. Like once you understand that you're dealing with a fixed height, now you can kind of hone in and come up with a strategy that says, okay, what is the best way to handle this scenario with a fixed height? So one thing that you can do, and actually I tried this before, and I read up on the documentation submitted by Microsoft on what you can and cannot do with galleries. One of the things you cannot do with galleries, and I tried this, and it actually will not stop you in PowerApp Studio, you just won't get the results you expect, is that you can come in here and edit a field, add a custom data control, right? So if I go in here and add control, let me collapse this list so I can see everything. So I have my custom data card at the bottom. And within that custom data card, you can select it. Once you select it, it gives you the plus sign to add in different items. So if I click on vertical gallery, it doesn't add that vertical gallery to my custom data card. So let me do a Control Z here, right? It doesn't add it to my custom data card like I would, like if but the other ones. But if you come up here and take your existing gallery and copy it, go down to that data card and then paste it in, the data card is absolutely then embedded. Let me do something so to kind of clear this up. So let me turn the visibility off on some of these galleries and labels. Let me turn the visibility off so that way we can kind of get a clear understanding or clear visible understanding of what we're actually changing here. That's my dog in the background. He wants to be part of the video as well, so he's playing with his toy. All right, so let's hide this one as well. All right, so now we're dealing with just the form. We got a custom data card in there, and then we actually were able to copy and paste our gallery to put it in there. The problem is, and this is why the Microsoft white paper probably suggests against this, is that the items do not show up, which is a big deal, right? So though I can get this gallery inside that data card, it won't work. So let's scratch that. So that's not going to work. So the other thing that we can take a look at is placing, because the height is fixed, we can place our gallery, adjust our form control to keep our scroll of items right here at the top, and then maybe place our gallery towards the bottom here. So that's another solution. So now what I can do, let me just show like my before and after. Let me make those visible so we can put those on the canvas again. And then if I select this guy, this is my gallery. I can always position these at the bottom, right? Because I know that my fields, I can control the real estate for my fields by controlling the height on my form control. And then as far as my galleries are concerned, I can just stack those at the bottom and turn this one on as well. Stack these at the bottom to where they already live at the bottom. And for some scenarios, this may be fine, right? I mean, it's just, it really, again, this is really up to your discretion with, how much of this layout you want to be, what's the best user experience for your users. But now you can collapse this here. Let's save this and take a look at this on the mobile app, the mobile device, and see exactly what that looks like. So that would be one solution for that. So let me just publish this up. Let me switch over to my Teams app that's running. Let me get into my mobile here, go back, exit out, pop back into it. I'm waiting for the prompt that says I have another version or later version of this app available. Okay, I didn't get the prompt. I was actually expecting it. So let me close it out here. Oh, there we go. There's the prompt. Let me go back into it. So now if I go into this guy, remember all we did, we added a bunch of fields, right, to kind of force that scroll. But, my images still remain at the bottom and I can interact with it that way. And if you look at this, it's actually not that bad, especially if you put the before photos at the bottom. And so you don't have that extra white space, and maybe the afters, above it or something along those lines. But you can play around with it and find the best mix or the best experience, right, for that. So that would be one way to do that. So let me just minimize this and kind of get back to Studio. The other option you can do, if you don't want that fixed size for the gallery, so what we can do, let's go ahead and turn this off. The other option you can do is a mix of what I was trying to show you before. So now you can come in here. Let's give your form the entire real estate at the bottom. Click into edit form here. Click into add a custom card. And in this custom card, I know a gallery won't fit, but I know other controls will fit. I think the gallery and the form controls are the two that I recall that you can't embed in the custom data card, but I know you can embed images as an example. So let's just grab an image control here, and then we can embed it there. Let me just resize it to where everything kind of snaps. It's been difficult. That's fine. Let me just grab, I actually want two of them. Oops, I didn't have my data card selected. And that's the thing. You got to have the data card selected when you're inserting these controls, or else it thinks that you want to insert the control at the screen level. So let's get rid of that. Let's go back in. And I love this tree view of the controls because it becomes very clear on what I have selected and when I'm moving around. It's just a matter of keeping things selected. And I feel crammed here, right? I feel like I can't really get it the way I want to position it. There we go. I got enough real estate now. All right. So now what I'm going to do is just set these up side by side and really just have like a thumbnail for the set that's before and the set that's after, and then use that thumbnail as my trigger to another screen to where I can then use that screen to show the details of that set of images, right? So here, let's just rename this one to image after pics, right? And then rename this one to image before. And then what we can do, we can go ahead and use this to select as a placeholder for launching to a new view. So, okay, so what I want to do is just, now that I have this image control, it only allows me to display a single image at a time. So I can come up here to the image property for this selected one and really just grab the first image from my gallery, right? So remember, I have a set of before photos here in this gallery and a set of after photos in this gallery. So if I just go to this guy here and do gallery view photos, right? And then dot items, and that's going to be, I think it's all items. These are going to be all the items in that collection. I only want the first one. So there's a method called first. You can grab that first, and then you can do the thumbnail trick that we showed in the previous video, and then maybe go, let's just go medium, so that way we have enough resolution to fill that. And then what I would like to do here is just change my image position to fill, so that way I'm filling up the whole space, and then do the exact same thing with my before images here, right? So here I'm gonna just go ahead and start off with the method first, and then gallery view photos dot all items, right? And then here I'll just pull off the thumbnail property, and again just select the medium, right? And then here I just go and do the fill, and let's see, how much height do I have on this data card, so I can position this height now. And now I kind of love this approach because now it gives you the flexibility of representing your gallery. I probably want to put labels and stuff like that, but that's something we've done before, and I'll leave that up to your exercise. But because I have have those images in this data card, right, I can now drag and drop this in different positions, and I love this because I'm not tied to forcing those images to be available at the bottom. And I know it's only the first two images for each one. Why is he showing the same images? I got to look into that. View photos. Oh, I didn't use a different. So view, this is after, right? Which I think was empty in this particular scenario. But I love the fact that now I can represent these. And now what I want to do, if I want to pop this open to a new screen, I just use the on select for that guy, and then just do a navigate to whatever screen. So this photo screen may not be the one that we want, but for demo purposes, we'll send it there. So here I just on select, go ahead and navigate to that photo detail screen. Where is it? Photos. What's the name of it? Photo screen. Oh, photo screen. Here, right? And when the fade transition, and there's more logic for this to actually be working correctly. But for now, we will, again, from a demo, just wire this up real quickly, kind of show you this, and save it off, right? So let me save it, and then push it up. But yeah, I think that the biggest trick or lesson, or the big takeaway from this one, is that when dealing with mobile, you're dealing with a fixed height, and you're going to have to play some tricks to get figure out the best user experience for your user with that fixed height. And the other gotcha, right, is that the fact that galleries cannot be embedded inside of data cards, which is where you need them in order for them to fit well within the scroll, right? So here, because we can't get the whole gallery in this data card, we just do a single thumbnail, and this is going to kind of give us the experience that we need, maybe, or not. I don't know why this is blank. It's just blank because I don't have any after photos. And that's the thing, like I probably have to add, oh, I didn't delete that gallery. I didn't hide that gallery. I need to hide that gallery. Yeah, I'm losing on this one. Yeah, I think that photo detail is expecting another, but I think everyone gets the gist of what we're trying to achieve, with that. I think that was the biggest takeaway. Like, how do you get the gallery represented within the form with the understanding that you're dealing with a fixed height and there's only so many things. So those are two ideas on how you can handle that. All right, let's switch over to the next question because I try to keep these videos pretty short and straight to the point. So with this one, the question was, how do you deal with a cascading drop down using a combo box, right? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just hijack this this description field here. Let me unlock it so I can delete these fields. So I'm gonna hijack this, delete that, and because I deleted something that was looking for, actually, I could have hit them. Let's do that. That's probably a better way to do that. So delete them, because then you start screwing up your formulas and things along those lines. So let me just hide these here, and then go down and hide this guy here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to pull in two combo drop downs, right? So that's going to be under input, and then the combo. And I don't know if we talked about the difference here, but the difference between a combo drop down versus a standard drop down, and you see them both there in the gallery control list, right? The combo is going to allow you a couple things. One is going to allow you templates to display rich other information within the drop down, right? So here I can show, once we wire this up, I can show first name, last name, and the email address of that option, right? A standard drop down is not going to have this template or additional layout. It's just going to be a single item. The other thing the combo gives you is that you can make things searchable, and you can allow the user to select more than one item. And some of these features in our scenario, we're actually going to disable because it doesn't make sense in a cascading drop down scenario. And we'll talk through that. All right. So now we have our combo drop downs here on the screen. They're primed. They're ready to go. We want to fill them up with a data source. So in our scenario, if I pop back over to my SharePoint list, I have this request list. And this request list was set up to show you key individuals by the country. The title is going to have the full name of the individual, first name, last name, will separate those out. And then you have a country drop down. And I covered this in the previous video. If you look at cascading drop downs list, you will see that how those are covered and how those are added, how we handle those. So in this scenario, what we want to do is that, because again, this list has like 2 million records. We had to get a unique list of countries. I've done it already. I dropped that into the country option. So if I go into edit this column here, you will see that I went through Excel and just grabbed a unique list of countries. So that's going to be the first tip of my cascading dropdown. It's going to show all of the countries that we have. So let's go ahead and wire this up. So if I go to this guy here, find items, go back to my tree view. I probably should go ahead and name these before I jump into the. Go ahead and name these before I jump into the formula. So let's just do combo box countries. This, and then this one, let's just rename it. Let's just do this one as combo box names or users as an example. All right. Oh, my dog's, I think he's ready to go out. Hold on. All right. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining. Okay, so let's go ahead and wire this up. A few more minutes and we'll be done. We try to keep these videos short and straight to the point. I got a dog here. 1 second. Come on, man. Come on. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So for countries, what we're going to do, we're just going to wire this up to the, so do we, oh, we don't have the data source. Sorry, I was distracted with my dog. Sorry about that. So, okay, let's go to the data source. First thing we have to do is bring in that request data source. Again, that request list is going to have 2 million items inside of it. I just select SharePoint because SharePoint is the type of data that this is on. And then I would go ahead and select from here the request list of my 2 million items. From the request list, let's go back to the tree view here. And for countries, we want to set the data source to that country choice column, right? So in order to do that, there's a special method called choices. And what it does, it looks at your data source and then it looks for the column name. In this scenario, in this case, is country options, right? And then we just set that as the data source. So now if I go down here and hold down the Alt key, you will see all that same list of unique values that came from the choice column dropdown. And now what I want to do using the combo box is display all of the users associated to that country. So here, let me filter this by, actually, let me group these by country so it's clear on what we're dealing with here. I didn't expect that to be blank. Why is that blank? Go to requests. All right, let's try it now. Let me do a group by. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I'm doing country options. Sorry. Hold on. Let me do a group by on country. And the reason why those are throwing errors is because you can only do group bys, filters, and sorting with a very large list that's over 5,000 items if and only if the column is indexed. And, definitely take a look at that cascading drop-down video because we go into a lot of details. We set the indexes and all this other good stuff. So I was trying to filter or sort by the country options and it wasn't indexed. That's why I was getting the error. All right. So from here, and once I do the group by, it will show me all of the people who are associated to the Afghanistan country, Argentina, so on and so forth. And what we're going to do, we're going to use this as a litmus test to see where we actually are filtering our items and we're getting back the results as expected. All right. So now I have my user list. And this is actually going to be the exact same setup that we did before. So we're going to do a filter on the request data source, right? And we're going to filter where the country, right? The country is equal to the selected country. So if I use the combo box here to get that control, the selected country. Now here's where some of the differences really start to shine. Now, when I do the combo box, it says selected items. By default, the combo box will allow you to select more than one item. And again, we're going to turn that off because that's not needed. But regardless if you turn that properly on or off, you're still going this option here is not going to change because you're dealing with a combo box. You're going to have selected items. So to get around dealing with a collection of collections, what I want to do is just grab the first item of the selected items and then grab the country property off of that. Oh, so in this case, because this is a choice column, right? So I want to do the selected items, and then once I get that record, I only have two options. It's actually a value, and then it's actually one option. It's just a property called value, right? But this is going to have the selected country. Now, once I have that, I think I'm good to go. So let's just test this out. So let's do Afghanistan. And then if I hit the drop down, I'm getting blank, which is interesting. Okay, let's see. Users requests where the country equals the first country selected dot value. Let me see. Afghanistan. Oh, Afghanistan has 31 people inside of it. All right. Let's see. Oh, no, I'm not getting blank. I'm actually getting the value. I'm just not displaying anything. You see the scroll bar. So I actually do have values here. It's just that the template selected is not displaying the right property. So to display the right property, again, these are combo boxes items that you have to set up. select the combo box, come over here where it says fields, select edit. And you see it wants to show the compliance asset ID, which is probably blank for most of those. But if I switch this over to title, and if I say I can allow them to search title, now when I select Afghanistan and then hit the drop down, there are my users, right? So this is going to work as expected. Now, to take advantage of using a combo box versus a drop down, I can go and edit and probably do like a dual display. And then here it says that, I can display a primary text and a secondary text. Again, title is going to be the full name of the user that's associated to the country that was selected. So now maybe I want to display, in addition to the full name, maybe display the email address. And if I make this combo box searchable, I only want it to search against the full name. Okay. So now if I test this out, hit Afghanistan, hit the drop down, and there you go. You got full name, and then I have the email addresses associated with it. Okay, so let's just confirm this is working as expected, and it's looking fine in the mobile device. Again, this is just one of those scenarios where using a combo box, because combo box allows you a little bit more functionality and capability than a standard drop down, and how you can set this up as a cascading list. All right, so let me just go publish this, switch back over to my mobile device here. Let me exit all the way out to where I can see this at the very beginning. This is loading up for me. And then if I select this guy, there's my latest version notifier. And then if I click on this guy, I put the combo box in the edit screen. So if I go to edit, I didn't do a good job with labeling them. But if I select Afghanistan, that's my country. And then then I can select any user that's from there, right? It's kind of interesting. And then you can see here, I got a double select in the multi-select field selected for my user, right? And that doesn't impact the cascading drop-down functionality at all, because at that point I've already started the first layer in my cascading drop-down. The one thing I don't care for, though, is the fact that it's not giving me a room to get off the selected item, right? It's kind of tedious in that way. Like, I don't like the fact that when I get this drop down, that one, my keyboard pops up because it's in the way. And then two, once I select my option, it's like, okay, how do I deselect this drop down? I guess I'm supposed to hit this X up in here, top right, which is kind of odd. But anyway, this is working as expected. I could randomly select another country. I don't know if it's allowing that or not. Another thing that you would notice is that when I'm selecting the country, it's allowing me to select multiple. And you probably want to turn that off. So if we wanted to go here, and then in the first drop down, there, I think the property is called like select multiple or multiple select, or let's see, there we go, select multiple. We can turn that to false. But then also another thing you can turn off if you want to make the combo box searchable or not, right? Maybe that's the reason why I was getting that keyboard. So if I turn the searchable off, so search fields, is searchable? What's the name of it? There you go. It's searchable. So turn this to false. So maybe if I turn these off, because I didn't like that keyboard, that was actually in the way and it was kind of cumbersome to use. But let's see, if I turn this off, let's see if this will give me the experience I'm looking for. And then multiple select, let's turn that false as well. All right, let's just push this up and then save it. All right. Yeah. So just let me know if there's any additional questions. Like I say, I'm trying to address any concerns or issues, or if you're blocked on anything, I'm trying to help and get you unblocked as fast as I can. because I know some of you are actually working on projects and you need answers right away, so that way you can move forward with your projects. All right, so let's go in here one last time, then we go ahead and wrap this session up. Here I am looking at the equipment requests. Okay, there's my updated app notification. If I click into this guy here, click on the edit pencil. All right, so now I have my country selector. I can select that. You notice my keyboard didn't come up. That's good. Select this. Oh, so that was the other thing. So actually this experience is beautiful now, because before, I think because I have multi-select on, I can select an option and it will keep the drop down open because it allows me to select multiple. But now we turn multi-select off because it doesn't apply in this scenario. This is actually working fantastic and I'm feeling good about it. All right. All right. Awesome. Afghanistan. And then one of these drop downs here. All right, awesome. That's it. All right. So thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. If there's any questions, leave them in the comment section. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.